Good morning, Rabbi Sai. How you doing up there? Lilly nishmas Merosi Rus Bas Mordechai. Shir sponsored by Michael Cohen. You all remember the lawyer, Michael Cohen, Refuah Shlomo, for his father, Arav, Refa'l, Yisroel, Yaakov ben Bela. I had the opportunity to speak to him, I don't remember what, a month ago. He's not doing well at all. So, Doilum Shadaven. Brian Resnick. Lilly nishmas, my uncle, Moshe Meir ben Rav Yosef. By the Fein and Perl Families, in honor of our mother, Mindel Elka bas Aidel. We davened for, they were the sponsor of the turning of the daf last month, if you remember, who will be undergoing a major surgery today. It should be matzliach, she should have refuah shleima. And by the MDY family leader, Yerachmiel ben Yisroel, Yehoshua ben Boruch. This is the last day that they're sponsoring. Yerachmiel ben Yisroel, Yehoshua ben Baruch Nosson, and Yosef ben Shlomo Zalman. Heinach should be on today. Did I get all of them? Brian, fine. Gedaliah. Oh, this one. What happened to this one? Phew, I missed one. Happy birthday to Gedaliah Sosnick, turning 15. And also Shmuli Bernhaut. Best wishes of Ad Me'eh Ve'esrim Shana with Gesund. Guess from who? From Uncle Phil, Mark, and Akiva Solway. Oh, okay. And the rest of the Zoom Chevra. So Mazel Tov. Gedaliah. It's a tremendous nachas every time these young kids come on every single day without fail. It's unbelievable. What were we doing at that age? Good morning, Raveli and the entire MDY team. First off, thank you for all your efforts in making the daily shurim so engaging and fun. I watch Yishurim on YouTube replay in the evenings on a daily basis. It's become my daily addiction to distress after, remember, stress relief pill. After a pressured, long day's work. Gary, I need you to zoom in on this thing. I love the sense of humor and banter that you bring to our daily shiurim. Banter is what we define in England to mean playful and friendly exchange of teasing remarks. I'm a Sephardi born in Iraq, Baghdad. I now live in London since 1992. I'm part of the Od Yosef High community in Finchley, Northwest London. Is that how you pronounce it? Hashem Yirachim. I came to know about MDY by a passing comment from my neighbor as we went for our walk. Out for a walk one evening. Not hour. Out for a walk one evening. So he just passed through and he said, check it out. Thanks to my neighbor, Jeremy Cohen, I've now been constantly doing the daily daf with you since the start of Pesachim without missing a single day. So you see that? One guy said a word. Now it's your turn. Michael from Iraq, you need to tell your friends as well. I have attempted to study Gemara before, but somehow never made it to finish a whole Masechta. Be'ezrat Hashem, Pesachim will be my first to make a siyum. That's unbelievable. It's first siyum coming up. I would have loved to have been there from the start had I known about MDY. Nevertheless, even though I have missed brachas, Shabbat, and Eruvin, I'm trying to catch up whenever possible. I've caught up on the first 12 daf of your brachot shiurim on YouTube. Wishing all the MDY team much success and health to carry on inspiring the oil with Torah. Kind regards, Michael Kashi. Here he goes. This is Reb Michael from Iraq, now currently in London since 1992. Rabbi Sai, today is Daf Nun Beis, and we're holding all the way in the bottom of Daf Nun Aleph Amud Beis. Amalei Rav Safra. All these other emails we'll have to wait for a different day. Amalei Rav Safra le Rabbi Abba. So we're in the middle of a sugya. If someone goes to another place and that other place has different minhagim than he had, what should he do? So says Rav Safra l'Rebbe Abba, Kegoynanan, the adino b'kfiyah diyarcha like us. Let's say we're in Eretz Yisrael and we only have one day yontif. Top of Nun Beis Amud Aleph. B'yishuv loy avidno mepnei shinui hamachloikis. Now, I'm not going to go to another city and make a machloikis over there. Levi, you got to come on time to make your coffee. Ba'midbar ma. Nobody knows who Levi is. I wasn't invited to Rabin. There's only two other people here, and they yell at him every day not to make the coffee.
There's only one guy
There's only one guy, his name is Levi Friedman, but obviously he doesn't come late every day, and he doesn't turn on the milk frother in the middle of shir. So when you come to another place, you're not going to make a machlokes. You're not going to start driving a car on Yontif. But what if there's nobody there? So yesterday after shir, Rabbi Twersky from Chicago was telling me that the Olam goes to Mezbich, the cave of the Baal Shem Tov. And over there, it's the middle of nowhere. It's a Beis HaKfar, it's the middle of nowhere. And there's no Minhag HaMakom over there. People come from Eretz Yisrael, and people come from America, from all over the world, and they meet over there. What's the Minhag over there? It's a midbar. Ba midbar mai. Omar le hachi, Omar Rav Ami. Ba yishuv asur, ba midbar mutar. If you're in a place where there's no other people there, you could do as you want. Now, it's very interesting that Rabbi Twersky told me that in Mezbich, the Israelis, they keep 1 day. The Americans and everybody from Chutz La'aretz keep 2 days. So the Israelis are doing melacha. Guys are driving in from Uman, he says, and it's Lebedik. I looked it up in halacha. I couldn't find such a shita. The Beis HaLevi, the Rav Osner, says it's asr, 100% asr to do melacha for somebody from Ben Eretz Yisrael, even though you're in a midbar, because all the people from Chutz La'aretz. That's what he paskins. It's paskins asr. So if you see a shita that says it's mutter, let me know. I couldn't find one. All right. Not your Rabbi Twersky. Rabbi Twersky, the Lubavitcher that's on. The guy with the big beard. Says the Gemara, Omar lei, Hochamar Rabami Bayishav also by Midbar Mutter. Now, question. What's worse, to slap your kid in the face as a punishment, or to give him the silent treatment? Huh? What do you say? Silent treatment, of course.
I'd rather the slap from my wife than her silent treatment.
Dr. Factor, rather a slap from his wife than the silent treatment. Yeah, of course. That's why I didn't ask about wives. Zog the Gemara, Rav Nosson bar Asyo, Azom beirav lepumpadisa. Rav Nosson bar Asyo was a Talmud Chacham. He walked out of the Tchum from Rav to Pumpadisa, from the house of Rav. When? Beyond of Sheni Shalat Tzeres, the second day of Shmooze. Shamte Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef put him in Chayrim, gave him the big silent treatment, communal silent treatment. Why don't you just give him some malchus, give him some klep? Adifa avdilei. I did even better than that. They said that if there's a Talmud Chacham that goes off the derech, you don't give him malchus. Sorry, you don't give him the silent treatment, you don't give him a chayrim, you give him malchus. Mimnu anagida. They go around, they say, does this guy deserve it? Yes, you give him some malchus. But not chayrim. I gave him chayrim, I stepped it up one. I gave him the worst punishment. Ikeda Amri, some say it's different. Nagdi Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef gave him malchus. Omle Abaya, so his favorite Talmud, or his famous Talmud. Abaya. Neshamti Mar. Why don't you put him in chayrim? The Rav and Shmuel Damer Tavayu Menadan Ashtei Yom Tovim Shel Gal Yuyos. Rav and Shmuel both hold that if somebody breaks the second day of Yontiv, let's say in our case he walked, even though it's a Durabanan, you give him a shtickle chayrim. Amalei Hanamili Inish Da'almo. That's a regular person. Hacha Tzurvim Rabbanan, who, since he's a Talmud Chacham, the Tavalei Avdei, I took it light on him. I didn't give him the worst punishment. The Marava Mimnu Anigadza, the Barbe Rav. In Eretz Yisrael, they would give a shtickle malchus. V'loi Mimnu Hashamta, they wouldn't give him a chayrim, so therefore I only gave him malchus. I only gave him malchus, yeah. So the second pshat in the Gemara is that he gave him malchus. Why? Because chayrim is worse. He's a Talmud Chacham, he doesn't deserve chayrim. How much malchus do we give him? So you could tell Yehoshua, somebody that's in Chicago for 4 days, and only then takes Yoel out for Slurpees? No, they're putting it on the screen. Where's the picture of Yehoshua and Yoel? No, you don't get a picture. You come the first day, you take him out for Slurpees. No, 4 days later. No, sorry. If you bought him a bike now you have to buy a bike. Slurpee doesn't do it after 4 days. CEO, that's how you treat a CEO. Come see the CEO 4 days later. No. Says the Gemara. So Nachamo, so how much malchus do you give a guy like this? So according to Rashi, basically until the person accepts it, until we understand that he's not going to do this again. According to the Rambam, meaning as much as Bezdin feels like it. The Magen Avram says, interesting, I have no idea why. The what? Somebody muted me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't go by the car. It goes by the Slurpee. You're 4 days late. Sorry. According to the Magen Avram, you only give him 13 malchus, and according to the Yerabba, you give him the full 39 malchus. Unbelievable. So the guy breaks the Rabbanon, 39 lashes. All right, so we have just a few halachas. Person that goes from America to Eretz Yisrael. Yesterday we discussed from Eretz Yisrael to America. That was my case. You have to be makpid, not to do anything but tzina. Now, according to the Shulchan Aruch Harav, the Balatanya, it almost makes sense, but we don't pass like that. The Shulchan Aruch, the Mishnah Berurah, you see, don't pass like that. But the Shulchan Aruch Harav says, wherever you go, that's how you're noyeg. So you go place and you're part of a family. That's how you go from America to Eretz Yisrael, 1 day. Eretz Yisrael to America, 2 days. Now, if you are an American and you come to Eretz Yisrael, you're in a hotel, you want somebody to be mechalel yontif for you. It's not yontif for all the Jews in Eretz Yisrael. What do? You just say it? That's what everybody would say. It's usher to say it. Also to say, it has to be beremes. There's amira le-Yehudi on the second day of Yonah. That's what most of them paskin. You hear this chiddush noira. You come from America, you go to a hotel in Eretz Yisrael, you're not allowed to say, stop, could you be Mechal Shabbos for me? Could you be Mechal Yontif? Even though it's not Yontif for anybody here in Eretz Yisrael. That's what they paskin. Now, one last halacha. A yeshiva bacher that comes to Eretz Yisrael, he's here to stay. He decides he wants to make aliyah. He has the permission from his parents. But he's a yeshiva guy. He's only 19 years old. He decides, and also he thinks in his mind that if it doesn't work out so well here, he doesn't find the right shidduch, he's going to go back to America. What's the halacha? Is he like an Israeli or like an American or like an English person? What do you say?
I know someone who asked from Shlomo Zalman.
Yeah.
He asked him, Shlomo Zalman asked him, is it going to take a days for you to stay? And 2 people asked him. The first person said it would be a big miracle. The guy said, like America. The other guy said a small miracle. He said,
right. So that's basically the halacha. That if a person he made up his mind to stay in Eretz Yisrael, he loves it here, he's going to stay here, then he's a ben Eretz Yisrael, even though he's not married, even though there's a very big chance he might go back if things don't work out. But in his mind, he made up, so he's a Eretz Yisrael. Anyway, let's go weiter. Brenu sugi keyotzaboy hamoylech peres shvius. So if we turn back to Daf Amud Beis, all the way on top, the top line. So Mishnah says, just like there's a minhag not to work Erev Pesach, there is a minhag yes to work, not to work. You go lefi the makom that you left, kayotzabay hamoylech perish shvius, and that's going to bring us into a little bit of a sugya of shmita. If a person carries perish shvius, Daf Amud Beis on the top, mimakom shekalu lemakom sheloi kalu. Here, so you have a place. You came from a field, or your entire place. There's no food in the field. And you went to a place that there's food in the field. Now, the pasuk says, if there's no food in the field, there's no food for the animals to eat in the field, you must be mevayer everything in your house. That fruit, you have wheat, and there's no wheat in the field, you have to get rid of the wheat. What exactly does it mean to get rid of, to be mevayer? So we had a machlokes rishonim, we mentioned it briefly. According to Rashi, you just put it out there in the field where the animals could get to it. There's a shaila, does it mean dafka? That they trample, could you bring it back? Most Rishonim hold, you mafkir it, like Gary does to his kalim, and then you could be zoich on it. You bring it back into your house. But you have to get, some say literally you have to burn the food. So, what happens if a person traveled from here, from a place that there's no food in the field, to a place that there's food in the field? From a place that there's food to a place that there's no food, in reverse, chayiv levayer, you take the chumrah. You always go lechumrah, and you have to get rid of the food. Go grab the food from wherever it is. What do you care that there's no food in where you came from or where you ended up? Just go grab this food over here. So is he saying that on both cases? Is he saying it on one case? Is he machmir? Is he mekel? What is going on? Says the Gemara, V'lesle l'Rebbe Yehuda hadesnan noisnim olav chumrei hamokim sheyotzim misham v'chumrei hamokim sheholach l'sham. So, if a person comes from a place that you don't make fire, you don't make malacha erev yantif, and he goes to a place that you could make a fire erev yantif before chatzos, he cannot make a fire. L'makom sheyotzim misham. He has to act like this, even though he's over here where you could make a fire. So what's going on? If he left a place that there's no food in the field, even though he's in a place that there's food in the field, he must act like the place that there's no food. And he has to be mevaris food. What is going on? Rabbi Yehuda was saying something different. So, L'makoim shaloi kalu, v'shama shekalu b'mkoimai chayiv levaer. Here's the case. He went from a place that's plenty of food to a place that's plenty of food, and then in step 3 he heard that his place went fallow. There's nothing there. He's over here now. Everybody has food. Since you came from place number 1, you hear Levi. And place number 1 equals 3, there's no food there, you have to be mevar. You're in place number 2, I don't care. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Tseiva velecha afato mehecha deisnau. These guys that have no food in their field could come visit me. I have plenty of food. Why should I get rid of my food? I'm in a place that's plenty of food. Let them come here. So what's Rabbi Yehuda saying? You don't have to be mevar. What does that mean? He's mekel. The Tanakhama says you have to destroy your food, get rid of it. According to some Rishonim, burn it. According to Rashi, whatever other Rishonim, put it outside your door for 20 minutes, say it's hefker, and then take it. My Chavrus was telling me his father had a box of wine, Shemitah wine, and he said, I'm being mafker. So he put it out the door, he saw some people going by, he says, this box is hefker. So they came over, they started taking wine. And Yedidi started saying, no, he didn't mean it. And his father said, no. Hefker's hefker. Yeah, I was hoping that they wouldn't take it, but too bad. They took the box of wine and they left. So, fine. But it comes out the Rebuda is mekel. Ask the Gemara, Meir, the Rebuda lekula. You don't. According to this, Rebuda says you don't have to be mevar. I have a Kabbalah, says Rashi. I know the Rebuda is always machmer in this case, in this particular case. Ela epoch. Einoi chayiv levaer. That what? According to the Tanakhama, if you come from a place with a lot of food to a place with a lot of food, and you find out the place you came from doesn't have the food anymore, there's nothing left in the field, einoi chayiv levaer. You don't. Comes Rabbi Yehuda and says you must be mevaer. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, you can't eat. Why? Tseva velecha afato mehecha disnu. Go to the place that you came from. Try to find food there. Guess what? There's nothing left there. It goes by the place that you came from. Abaya Omar, Lo'olam Kidiktani. From the Pashat Pshat in the Mishnah, it seems like he went from one place that had food or didn't have food to another place that the opposite of it. Right? Kayaytzabai. The Mishnah is talking about a guy that comes from a place that you could do malacha to a place you can't do malacha. Or from a place that you can't do malacha to a place you could. Never in the Mishnah was it mentioned the guy came from a place that you could do malacha to a place that you could do malacha. So why, when it comes to food, are you telling me he came from a place that that there's plenty of food, to a place there's plenty of food, and later on the food went? No, I want to say that it's just like the Reisha. Both cases, but let's take the extreme one. He came from a place that there's plenty of food. And he started out from a place plenty of food, and he arrived in a place that there's no food. But what happened was, here's the trick. Think about it logically. What happened? Where he originated from, there's plenty of food in the field. He happened to visit a place that has no food, and then he went back to the original place. What should the halacha be? Nothing really changed. His place has food. It has food today. It had food yesterday when he left. But he visited a place with all his food. He took his baggage, his suitcases full of food. He came to a place that has no food in the fields. Does he have to destroy it or not? Says the Gemara, according to the Tanakama, did I read everything? I'm scared to miss a half a word. It makes a lot of sense. He started out here. He ended up here. So he visited someplace. But at the end of the day, you visited here, and over here, there's no food in place number 2, so you're stuck. You have to be Meir. Maskiv l'Rav Ashi l'Reb Yehuda. That's Rav Ashi. Otu agabo de chamora kaltinu. I have a picture. Ooh, it's a shvach one. Didn't print so well. Does the donkey decide what your food is? So you put it on a donkey. The donkey went to a place that there's no food. So that's why you can't eat. That's why you have to be Meir. It has to do with where you live, where you originated from, where you are today. Today you have food. What does this have to do with anything? El Omer Rav Ashi, beplukta dana tanoi. Disnan. Hakoivesh shloisha kvoshim bechovis achas. If a person marinates, what's the better word in English? Pickled, thank you. I have a picture. I have better than a picture. Oy vavoy. It got out of hand on the way. Oh my gosh. Okay, I was worried this was going to happen. I don't want to touch it now. It's dripping. This is from, hold on a second. I should have brought, now I have the pickle juice everywhere. Okay. Not on me. Shkoyach. Make a whole thing out of this. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. It started from my shver. My shver's hobby is pickles. Every week he goes to the Mart, a special place in Chicago. It's only open certain times, certain days. He goes, he cancels surgery, he goes get a couple of pickles. It has to be a certain size. Kirby's. Don't tell me Kirby's. Pickles in Chicago, you have a cash on it, pickles. Even the raw ones, when you eat them, the pickles. Go fight with them. Go. I spent days, months fighting about it. It's not worth it. They win. This is half, whatever. Okay. It just happens to be that I found this in the fridge, and it's beautiful because there's garlic over here. There are cucumbers. They call them pickles, whatever. And there's a bunch of dill on top. I don't know if you could see it. You see the dill? So, hakoivesh shloisha kvoshim bechovis achas. This is literally a little barrel. So, okay, great. So we have this. We're going to take the pickle juice, put it on the brand new walnut table. Rabbi Lezer Oimer, Oichlin ala Rishon. Says Rabbi Lezer that they're all together. They're all this together. So now what's going on here? The cucumbers, they're done with the field. They're out of the field at a certain time. The garlic grows a certain time. So when the pickles are gone from the field, do I have to destroy everything in this barrel? The pickles are gone. But the other vegetables remain. And the other vegetables, now here's the thing. In the pickle, I could taste the garlic. I could taste the dill. And the dill is not gone. So maybe I can rely on the little dill that's in my pickle and keep it. They're all considered one. Rabbi Yeshua Omer afala achroin.
All considered one, and therefore says the first is Meir, and you got to get rid of the rest.
So Rabbi Yeshua says, hold on. Afala achroin. So therefore, you're not mevar. Rabbi Lezer says you mevar everything. They're all considered one, and since the pickle is gone from the field, I got to get rid of everything. Because the dill is gone from the field, and the garlic is gone from the field. You know why? Because the pickle is gone. And they're all one. They're all one in one barrel. And if one goes from the field, so they all three go from the field. Rabbi Lezer says the opposite. Rabbi Yeshua says, who's the first one? That's Rabbi Lezer. Rabbi Yeshua says the opposite. Rabbi Yeshua says, since there's some flavor of the garlic in the pickle, so my pickle is still alive. The garlic keeps it alive because every pickle consists, let's say, of 25% garlic. Let's just call it. So the garlic is still in the field. So I don't have to destroy my pickle because 25% of it is garlic. No. Each one individually, one by one. Pickles are gone from the field, get rid of only the pickles from the jar. The garlic is gone, then you take the garlic out. And then the dill, however it works. Three-way machlokes. So Memela what? The Tanakama says Rashi, so this is a little bit of a jump, a little bit of a leap. Rashi says that Tanakama is like Rabbi Yeshua. A place that is like kalu. Let's see if I can find a picture here. Like kalu. A place that still exists to a place that doesn't exist. So you can rely on the place, on this place, on like kalu. So the Tanakam is like Rabbi Yeshua. I can rely on whatever is left. There's a little bit left somewhere else. There's a little bit of garlic in there. I'll rely on it. Rabbi Yehuda is like Rabbi Gamliel, says Rashi. That each min is by itself. And he says, go you and search for the min. Say v'havei. If you can find it, great. But right now, this min is gone. You're over here. You go like this. You're over here. You go like that. Ravina Omar. So, in fact, our review is machmer. Ravina Omar beplugta dehanet hanoi. Desnan, another machlekes. Oichlin betmorim ad sheyichlo ha'achrin shebetzoyar. You know, we have the map here we're going to use soon. Might as well use it now, if I can find it. Here we go. Yesterday, I asked for a map. I asked Rabbi Schoenberg, I figured he has a map. Let's see, there's 3 places in Eretz Yisrael. So he sent me a black and white map, great. But then I got a knock on the door from Lilly. He collects farm, he has the art scroll on Yerushalmi Shviz. And in the back, there's a beautiful colored map. So I have to thank Lilly. And then I got an email from another person, I'll show you, what? Lilly, I don't know, he's not in the rotation yet. He'll come, there's only... Anyway, here's the map. I just colored on it. This is from the art scroll. I'm allowed to take pictures from the art scroll with permission from the Masori Heritage Foundation. But if you look down here, it says Tzoyar. This is Yehuda, this is Ever Yarden, and this is Galil. So this Yehuda over here, and Tzoyar is right here. So Tzoyar, I forgot about Tzoyar when I printed it, but it's almost off the map. It's where the red arrow is. That is the place where it's the date heaven. It's like, that's where all the dates come from. Everybody has dates there. So you could eat dates in Yehuda, and that's what we're going to see soon, that Eretz Yisrael is divided into 3. When you're in Yehuda, even if you're up here in Yehuda, you could eat dates as long as there are dates over here. It goes all the way here. If you're in Galil, forget about it. You cannot rely on Soyar. Galil is by itself, Ever Yarden is by itself, and Yehuda. Okay. Now, Reb Shimon Gamliel, we're turning to Nun Beis Amud Beis. Oichlin al shel bein hakifin. You could eat dates based on whatever the dates are. If they're on the branches, vein oichlin al shebein hashitzin. So this I got from Shlomo Goldschmidt Halavai, that people should send me stuff before the shir, send in your stories, send in your jokes, send in your pictures. But basically, he's saying that these are the thorns that there are on palm trees. And if the dates get caught in here you see baby dates. If they get caught in here, then the animals don't go to eat it. Says Reb Shimon Gamliel, "Ven oichlem al bein hashitzin." It's not considered that there's still dates around in the world because at the end of the day, the animals can't get to it. Chacham say, well, at the end of the day, there are dates. They're dates. So what if they can't get to it? Oh, so, says the Gemara, Ravina says, the Tanakama holds, since there are dates in the tree, that's considered like kalu. So that's our Tanakama. There's food somewhere else, so it's like kalu. Rabbi Yehuda says, say v'havei, go bring it to me. In other words, I'm machmir. You have to do biur on all your dates, even though the dates still exist. But they don't exist by you. You can't get to them. They're in a different city. They're in a different part of the tree that you can't get to. You chayiv biur. All right, we're running out of time. I feel bad. I want to say hello to a couple of people. Mark Struhl, Shalom Aleichem. Larry Perl, I see Larry Perl. Boruch, Roifei Choylem, Larry, thanks for being on. I saw your screen yesterday. I didn't see your beautiful panim. Thanks for being here. Feel better. Zog the Gemara. Tanan Hassam. Oh, and we just turned to Daf Yomi, Amud Beis, sponsored by Gedaliah Sosnick, the Refuah Shlomo of his son, Yerachmiel, Daniel ben Tovabasha. If we all could think for a second, we're learning the Refuah as a 14-year-old. Yerachmiel, Daniel ben Tovabasha. Tanan Hassam. Sholosh arotzos lebiur. So, as we explained, and we'll explain again. When it comes to biur, and we're not talking about biur chametz, biur of the fruit. You're permitted to eat the fruit in your house, so long as there are fruit in the field and the animals can eat them. But Eretz Yisrael is divided to 3 parts, and the art scroll goes in the whole length. I read the whole thing over there. This is for demonstration purposes only. We're not 100% sure what each city is and what they are. They base it on what the Arabs call it in today and whatever, but they have pretty good rayas that they are correct, and they're basing it on that. But this is just to give us an idea that in each place there's something called Har, Shafel, and Emek. Har, Emek, and Shafel. Each place has that. Har, a mountain, Emek, the valley, and Shafel, the plains. So as you can see here, and that's but with the 3 arrows in blue, 3 arrows in red, 3 arrows in green. So if you're talking about the Galil, here's the Emek right by the Kinneret. The Shvela, the plains are smack in the middle. Hahar, here, there's some mountains over here. I don't know, is that the, where you go skiing in the Hermon? I don't know, whatever. There's some mountains past Akko, great. You're talking about Evar Yarden. So the Emek, there's a valley right here in the center, and you see Yehuda also shares the same Emek. It's not really important. The point is that there's 3 areas in each. Eretz Yisrael is divided into 3, and each third is divided into 3. According to Rashi, those thirds make no difference. According to other Rishonim, they're cities within cities, and they do make a difference. But according to Rashi, it doesn't matter. If you have food over here, and you live over here, you could eat as if you had food in your field. They're all one. Over here, they're all one. What about this area over here? This big machloikas, if it's considered part, not considered according to the Vilna Gaon, it's all part of it. According to other Rishonim, not. Bekitzer. All right. And each country, each city has 3 cities within it. And why are there 3? Why is it divided into 3? So you could eat food, fruit, in each one, until there's no more food left in its place, but we don't care about the rest of Eretz Yisrael. We don't care about the rest of Eretz Yisrael. If in Galil has food, and Yehuda doesn't have food, we go by Galil. There should be food, as long as the animal is continuing to eat the food. Then you could feed the animals in your house, those little ones that run around. Depends. Some have chayas, some have. I have both. I have mando and I have other ones. Rather, my kids are very calm. Because Boruch bless me. I don't have kids. I have the kids. Their demeanor is more like my wife's mishpacha. Wow. So, Memela, if you, in your place, there's a chaya that's still eating in the field, then you could still continue eating your food. But if there's no longer food for that chaya, then you have to get rid of the food for your animal in your house. Ugmiri, says the Gemara. We know. We studied this. Animals don't, what's the word? Migrate, thank you. They don't migrate from the top of Eretz Yisrael, from Galil to Yehuda to forage for food. Whatever they have. They don't go, they'll eat what's in Yehuda, but they never travel that distance, says the Gemara. And they don't go from Galil to Yehuda, not from Yehuda to Galil. Fine. So therefore, it's considered another country. If there's food in Galil, everybody in Galil could eat, and we don't care about Yehuda. If there's food in Yehuda, everybody in Yehuda could eat, and Galil cannot benefit from it. Tana Rabbana. So if you brought fruit from Eretz Yisrael and you're in America now, they didn't have those dogs, those sniffing dogs. Remember? You come into America, that little guy comes over to your suitcase, he points exactly where that sandwich is, where that apple is. The beagle. I told you my son. They asked us, you have anything? No. And there's a Romanian sandwich, Romanian pastrami. He showed it with the nose. Take it out. The guy says, what's this? So my wife says, I bought it in America, I brought it to Eretz Yisrael, and I brought it back to America. She was doing one of those, like kalu to kalu to kalu. The guy says, I don't care, I asked if you have a sandwich. He says, and I have that status, you can come to, what is it called? You can go into America without going through the line. He said, I'm going to take it away from you. I said, but it's my wife. What do you want from me? But kids, sir, fine. You burn it on the spot. You get rid of it on the spot. You hear this chiddush? You got to go back on a plane, take your sandwich, your fruit, your apple. By the way, there was a line of just from people. They stopped all the from people because they bring seeds and they bring different fruit from Yisroel. Everybody went through, only the from people. Says the Gemara, so what if it says Ba'artzecha? You have to go back to Eretz Yisrael. You're in Chutz La'aretz. Go back to destroy it in Eretz Yisrael. Ha'pikte, but you already used Ba'artzecha a second ago. That what? That it goes by where you are. Galil, Yarden. Says the Gemara, Karli Ba'aretz, Ba'artzecha. The same word, you could do two drushes. It could say Ba'aretz and it could say Ba'artzecha, so you have two drushes. Inami, Ma'asher Ba'artzecha, from the word Asher. Says the Gemara, Ma'isa Shaya. Rav Safra, Nofak Meretz Yisrael, Chutz La'aretz. Rav Safra left Eretz Yisrael, made a Yeridah to Chutz La'aretz. Have about a garba de chamer de shvius. He had with him a barrel of wine. Asked Tosfos, how was he allowed to do that? You're not allowed to take the stuff out. So, says Tosfos, because he was doing it for commercial purposes, he wanted to sell it. The Chazon Ish, very interesting. I don't remember such a thing. Chazon Ish is Geiris and Tosfos. He was doing it for personal use, not for schayra. Achrein changes the girsa and Tosfos. The problem is really because the other Tosfos also say it. Tosfos Rosh, Tosfos Shans, all the other Tosfos, fine. But he takes it out. It doesn't make sense to the Chazon Ish. What? You're going for commercial purposes, that's okay? Okay. Other Shan Tosfos, he completely forgot. He had it on him, he forgot. It's hard, a whole barrel, he forgot about a whole barrel. Love about the Rav Huna Berei Ravika V'Rav Kahana. These three were all Talmidim by the same Rebbe. They had Rav Huna and Rav Kahana. Amar Lahu, so Rav Safra says to them, Ika d'shmiele minei, the Rebavo, did you hear from our Rebbe Rebavo, halachik Reb Shimon ben Elazar? Do I have to go back all the way to Eretz Yisrael because I forgot this barrel in my suitcase? Or lie? Amar Rav Kahana, hachi Amar Rebavo. Says Rav Kahana, indeed, Rebavo said, halachik Reb Shimon ben Elazar, you must go back. It's amazing. Two Talmidim heard the exact opposite. You have it throughout Shas. Says Rav Huna, not true. That law is not like Reb Shimon Elazar. Omer Rav Safra nekoitai klala the Rav Huna biyadach. Rav Huna is right. I'm not going back. You know why? The dayig v'gomar shmaitzim epume de Rabbi. Because Rav Huna is very careful. Says Rashi, every time our Rebbe Rebavo says something, he says, Rebbe, could you please repeat it? Every single time, says Rashi. He wanted to hear it again, so he knows that that's exactly what he meant. So Memela, I could be soymech 100% with certainty on Rav Huna. I'm not going to listen to Rav Kahana. I'm not going back. What? Shkoyach. Noam Befarhesia just called me his Rebbe. Yesterday he called me a big fat shaita. Today I'm his Rebbe. Oh, by the way, Boruch it's never too late to drink. Never too late to eat a pickle. The what is it called? They made a song out of it. The krachts from the pickle. The krachts? No. The crunch. How do you say crunch? The krach. Now I'm going to get 4 emails. The famous Gemara in Brachas, we had in Brachas. He said these exact words. A funny word. He said Har Bayis, instead of calling it bleachers or benches, he called it stav. Stav kavala is 2 of them, 2 layers. Stav levinim stav. He should have called it staba. That's the normal word in Aramaic. So he's medayik to say it exactly like his Rebbe. Korei Rabbi Yosef, Ami be'etza yishol. The pasuk is talking about Avodah Zarah. Umaklo yagid loy. So he's going to ask about wood. I'm going to give him a stick. But Rabbi Yosef takes the word umaklo, instead of saying a stick, kol ha-mekel loy magid loy. The one who is mekel wins. So Rav Huna won over here that the halacha is not like Rav Shimon Elazar. You don't have to turn around and go back to Eretz Yisrael. Says the Gemara, Rav Eloi katz kafni yosa de shvis. Rav Eloi takes a tree, a palm tree. I forgot how much they cost. They're very expensive, these palm trees, right? I don't know, $10,000. I remember in Florida, we were trying to plant some crazy money. Cuts it down with fruit on it. Hey, how can you do so? The Gemara on Amud Aleph over here in Gimel is going to say we're talking about a male tree, shvacha fruit. Don't worry about it. But how did he do so? Asked the Gemara. La'achla, you can't do this on Shemitah. You have to eat the fruit. You can't destroy fruit. Amar Achmana v'lo lahef said not to destroy. Maybe you'll say, oh, the only time you can't destroy it is when the fruit is mature. But when it's, it just started growing, you could chop it down. This protector over the arla is asur. Because it's a protector to the fruit. Now, we're calling it the fruit. The fruit. Remember, it's the fruit. And it's a shomer. When is that stage? Bekufri. When it's immature. When it's a tiny little, minuscule, you can't even see it. It's the size of a pin. It has a little protector. A little flower over it. And that thing goes bye-bye. And the Gemara calls it a peri. So what are you telling me? That it's immature. It's not called a pri. Says Gemara, he holds like Rabbi Yossi. That's not Rabbi Yossi. Omer smadar asur mepnei shu peri. This stage right over here of a grape, these tiny little grapes are considered fruit only according to Rabbi Yossi. And Rabbanan say no, this is not considered a fruit. And Mamela, perhaps he holds that these tiny little dates are not fruit. And Mamela, he chopped down the tree. How do you chop down a fruit tree? Listen, if at the end of the day the tree is worth more than fruit, it gives you more value, you're allowed to chop it down. Hey Nach, Shalom Aleichem, hey Nach, I didn't see you. Hamokim Menachem Eschem B'soich Shara Veil Tzir Mishalayim. Shkoich for the chizuk. I read your email yesterday. I don't know if you know. You gave the whole olam chizuk. Welcome back. We shouldn't know for any more tzaras. Tehillim. Mali's mam kim kutzicha adinoi. Have a wonderful day. Shkoyach. No, Bemet, seriously, could we be careful? I just want to be careful for the neighbors. I don't care. You don't understand how loud it was. You have no clue. Come outside. Come outside with me. Michael Cohen, Shalom Aleichem, how are you? You had better days. You had better days. I didn't hear what.
Everyone's trying to get the emails through the other to get protected for Valley to read it.
Pictures. It was a great email. I have to say, Henach, I liked it. I liked it a lot. A guy is in the middle of a levaya, and he's thinking about Daf Yomi. I loved it. Seriously. Rabbi, you're...
I didn't, what's it called? I didn't exaggerate the story. But for some reason, I thought Daf Yomi is not learning. I don't know why.
Our daf is it's borderline entertainment learning. The krach from the pickle. Oh, you have all these. It's so funny. I don't even know how to do that. Yishkoyach Shmuli, happy birthday, Shmuli. Happy birthday. How's the whiskey they got you? You got some good whiskey there?
Right. We had a l'chaim this morning.
Let me ask, what kind of whiskey was it? Let's hear.
Monkey shoulder.
Ah, that's not whiskey. That's bourbon.
It's good. Whiskey is my favorite.
Monkey shoulders is not whiskey.
By the way, my father.
It is whiskey?
Today.
It is? Okay, my mistake. I'm not such a mumcha. Yeah. Who's your father-in-law? What's his name? Marshall Fisher from?
Chicago.
Hello.
Marshall Fisher, that's right. That's right. Shandel, your wife's name is Shandel, right?
That's right.
Shandel's father. Very nice. No, because your wife went to school with my wife. Ooh, Gary has presents. He's coming with gifts. We're changing stuff up here. Slicha, I didn't get Vandy to jump in on you. Stop.
Gary wants a pickle. Give him a pickle.
Permission to ask a quick question?
Go ahead.
I feel a little bit like the guy that learned the Homo after Shabbos and then says he just doesn't understand Reisha Yud. What's the deal with the burning with the Shemitah rule? I'm missing something.
Yeah, I know. It's a little complicated. If you have fruit in your house, let's say you have apples in your house on Shemitah.
That grew in Shemitah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Grew before Shemitah, on Shemitah, even before Shemitah. Now, you're allowed to eat the apples, v'chalta. But as soon as all the apples, I didn't get there. I should have said this halacha. Today, what do? As soon as the animals don't have food in the field, there are no more apples on the trees, you must take all your apples out of your house. You have to be mevarer the apples. You can't eat them anymore. Now, what does it mean to take them out of your house? Either you burn them, or you mafker them. Hold on a second, Q.
Then the pickles is a terrible example because vegetables have to be planted. There's no vegetables in Shemitah.
No, there are. Of course there are. They were from before Shemitah.
The kedusha of vegetables goes upon picking, not upon planting.
So it was planted before Shemitah.
The stuff that was planted before Shemitah, okay, you picked it on Shemitah, you're allowed to eat it until it's finished in the field. Once it's finished in the field, you have to get rid of it, either by eating it, burning it, or being not good.
Isn't that the first daf in the Kedushin? Sorry. But everybody did Kedushin daf Beis.
The example would be the esrogim. Esrogim would be the perfect example. What do you do with the esrogim after Shemitah?
Esrogim is all machlokes if it's the...
Maybe tomorrow I'll continue those halachas. There's a lot of gishmak halachas.
Food is finished in the field, and you have to buy everything that you have from the Shemitah program.
Happy birthday, Gedaliah.
Another example of it is grape juice and wine.
Oh, on Pesach?
It's Erev Pesach. And that's the time when everybody takes it out, make sure there's nobody around, being mafkir and chaps of that.
But that's something else. You're talking about, I wanted to talk about the halacha. You're not allowed to spill out Havdalah. You're not allowed to spill out like by the Dam Tzvardeya and the Esmer Makas. That's a different halacha. That's the halacha of you're not allowed to destroy. That's negeh to the sugya of the guy cut down the tree on Shemitah. V'achalta, you're not allowed to destroy it. So you have to be careful not to spill out wine by Havdalah.
Like a few siblings told me how, they got like a certain chizik. Like a couple months ago, my sister said if she would have had a baby, who knows what would have happened. My other brother said I was now struggling with something else, and Baruch Hashem, there's a few people had different chizuk. I joined this MDY, whatever, 50 days ago. I said if I wouldn't have joined MDY, I promise you, I would not have had the same nishmat available. So everyone, more people calling in.
Amazing. See, Torah is matzel. Torah is Megan. It's good. It changes a person's